Hello and welcome to Life with Promise podcast. I am your host, Gihilwe Promise Mukwena. It's another beautiful episode of nothing but the best about life. With me, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in yet again. Well, today we are talking about showing up for yourself. You know, have you done it? How how do you do it? Do you do it often? Do you want to try it if you haven't done so, And is it with big or small things or both? And what does it mean for or to you? Showing up for yourself, you know? By showing up for yourself, I'll just say you're teaching yourself never to be fully dependent on anyone. You're saying to yourself, even without speaking it, I can do it by myself. This can give you confidence in yourself that you never had or never thought you'd have, you know, and it can be with the little or big things of life, showing up for yourself. You understand. Um, it's it can mean listening to yourself, you know, listening to your body, doing things you really want to do. Like perhaps working out, like trying out a new style that you've always liked or thought, it goes with you, or just trying out new things that you're interested or have been interested in, and saying things you really want to say or mean, you know. Oftentimes we filter ourselves, and I will just say filtering oneself or censoring oneself is not a part of showing up for oneself. It's just an example I'm trying to make just so that we can get to the showing up for yourself part, because somebody you might not perhaps understand it fully, and you would like to understand it and you would like to practice it for or on yourself. You understand? So it can mean that really just saying what you mean or how you really feel, and not in an offensive kind of way, but in an honest and true to yourself kind of way, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's that trying out a new style. You've always felt like you're a bob girl. You would like to just have a bob for once. You would like to go natural for once. You would like to try out perhaps certain types of heels, certain types of dresses, or just dress up a kind of way, a certain type of way. You understand, and you haven't really felt confident. You felt like, oh, this kind of style suits certain people, but not me. You understand? So showing up for yourself is saying, girl, you like this. Why not try it out? You haven't even seen yourself in this dress or these kinds of dresses, but you've already judged yourself. You've already sidelined yourself. You've already put yourself there. Don't do that. When you show up for yourself, it's you to you saying, don't do it like that. Don't do that. Don't say that about yourself. It's you saying, you know what? I am worth it. Why don't I try it? Who am I not to try it? Why must other people try on this style? Why must other people do bob, but I can't? You just go ahead and do it. And literally, I'm talking about the simplest things of life: trying a new hairstyle, trying out clothing. You understand? And then there's depth to this. There's other things that can mean showing up for yourself as well. Perhaps other people think of them as big, and I will just say that perhaps you're someone who always says yes to things, someone who always shows up for people even when they don't show up for you, someone who shows up for people and perhaps put themselves at the back. You put your needs, other people's needs before yours. Is that showing up for yourself? I don't think so. I wouldn't say I'm an expert and I know everything or whatever, but I know that that's not showing up for yourself. So yeah, it can mean that. It can mean finally just putting yourself before other people. You have this amount of money, you were going to use it for something. What that something is, and someone shows up saying, oh, I need this and this is my emergency. It's their emergency, it's not yours, and you already had plans with the money, you understand. So showing up for yourself can mean just you saying no, or it can mean you giving them a bit or some of the money, but not everything, like you usually perhaps would do. You would usually give out everything you have so that that next person is okay, even when you're not, and you'll figure it out. How will you figure it out, rather? You don't even have someone to go to when you need things, but there are people that come to you, which is not a bad thing. But showing up for yourself can mean, having boundaries. Yeah, it can mean that, even the other person will know that, I can go ask this person, but yeah, they might say they don't have it. You tell them that, what, I wouldn't say I don't have it, but what I have right now is what I'm going to use. If they think of you as as a bad person because you couldn't help them when you had to help yourself, then that's their problem. And I don't think between you two, a bad person cannot be you. Because if you're a good person, let me not even go there. I will just say, if you understand, you would have to understand, even if you have an emergency, that, what, um this person says they have it, but they're gonna use it, or what I have, I'm gonna use. Don't say I have it as if you have it, and then you're gonna tell me you have it, and then you don't even give me. But what I have, I'm gonna use. You don't even have to explain what you're gonna use it for. What you have, you're gonna use. That's showing up for yourself. Showing up for yourself means patting yourself on the back and doing things that you've always wanted to do, and no one is there to encourage you. No one is there to pat you on the back but yourself. Showing up for yourself is, what, I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, I don't have anyone to go on a coffee date with, I will go by myself. I don't have anyone to go to this new restaurant with. I'll go by myself. And this thing I don't understand. That's another thing that I actually wanted to get into. We also go to places. you know Let me make an example of a church. You go to church, and there are things you don't understand, or you go to a seminar or something. There are things you don't understand, and you're curious, you want to know about these things, you have questions, but you don't want to ask them because you feel like you'll be overstepping. You don't want to ask them because you're not confident enough. You don't want to ask them because you're scared about the response you might get from the next person. Showing up for yourself is saying, you know what, I have questions about this, and even if I don't ask all of the questions, but I will approach this person and just showing up for yourself means that showing up for yourself means agreeing with yourself, even if other people don't agree. Sometimes there are things that we want for our lives. Sometimes there are things that we think of doing, and the next person, be it a friend, be it your man, your husband, your boyfriend, be it your mother, your sisters, your brothers, siblings, all of that, colleagues, whatever, may not really agree with whatever it is that you have or you want to have going on. And showing up for yourself means, what, believing in yourself even when no one else does. Believing in whatever it is you want to have going on, you're trying out, even if, other people don't feel the same way. So I don't know if you haven't done it. I think that, you can take a few little steps. Showing up for yourself, just the line has so much. It entails so much. But I hope that with this that I said or am saying, you get to understand a little bit. You I will just say this as well. Just an example with ladies. You have a lot of wigs. You have a friend. who perhaps does have wigs, but not as much as you do. And a friend wants to borrow your wig. And as a woman, you know how these things get, you know how our things, um, how we give out our things, and a certain state they come back in. So you don't know, you're not sure what state your wig is going to come back in, and you feel like, you know what, I don't want to, I don't think I should borrow this friend of mine my wig. Really, no hard feelings. I'll just say, I feel like showing up for yourself is telling this person, you know what, friend, I really care for you, I care about you, and I want you to look good, but I can't borrow you my wig. It's a lot of politics, around women, around not even bad sometimes, but it's a lot of things that go on. So things like those, your friend is bigger than you. She wants to borrow your skirt and she insists it's going to fit, even though you know that it won't because she's bigger. You just tell her, I can't borrow you this skirt because you're bigger, and you just might tear it up. What happens if they tear it up? So are they going to sew it right back to its former state? You just decide, you know what, if I lose this friend just because of a mere skirt that won't even fit them, fine. You understand, it means that you are standing for what you believe in. You're standing for your no. You're saying no, and you're not being convinced. You understand, somebody says let's go out, you know let's go out. You don't feel like going out tonight. You don't feel like dressing up tonight. No, I don't want to go out. Showing up for yourself is you saying no, even if it feels cringy, but you know what? I'm not going there. Nah, I don't feel like it, you know? And ha- as a person, of course, who would always say yes, even when you don't feel like it, showing up for yourself is that, you know? Showing up for yourself is you graduating next week and not having anyone to go with you to your graduation. And just you deciding, you know what, I'm going to go shopping for my graduation outfit. I'm going to go, I'll just check out which nails, which hair to do. If you're a brother, you'll just go ahead and look for a suit and all of that, shoes, and just look forward to your graduation no matter what. You understand? And also, if you are somebody, I'll just say, you know, if you're somebody who always asks, or who always asks for help, or who asks for help most of the time, even if it's not all the time, I will just say that, sometimes just do it. Do it yourself. Do it for yourself, even though you do usually ask for help. Just try it out for yourself this time. Yes, if it's not something dangerous. I mean, you're not going to be a lady and fix your car's tires and say you're showing up for yourself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But, girl, I mean, there are people to do that for you. Call a mechanic or something so that they can put on your tires for you. I mean, I'm talking about other things, not hard labor. No, don't do that to yourself. So yes, that's just a couple of stuff about showing up for yourself. Like I said, it entails so much. You understand? And just showing up for yourself can give you confidence in yourself that you never had or never thought you'd even have. With the littlest of things. You understand? Put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, no one is gonna put yourself first. Perhaps some of you, some of us, yeah, let me just put it like that. Some of us have people that put us first, which is a good thing. But do you put yourself first? Showing up for yourself can also, mean that. And by showing up for yourself, you're teaching yourself that, you know what, if this person doesn't pull up, then it means that I'm going to be able to do this. If this person doesn't show up, it means that I'm going to be able to what? To do this. So that's it. That's like, it can mean being the friend and lover you've always wanted or needed, you know. You start little by little with showing up for yourself. Like words of you I wanted to also just step into this and highlight the fact that showing up for yourself is not also just about materials, it's not physical, it's literally mental. You understand? It's emotional showing up for yourself. It's just even words of encouragement from you to you. You understand? When you feel like, oh, how am I going to get through this? I can't do this. But you're like, you know what? There've been times where I couldn't do certain things, but I got to a point where I was able to do them because I tried them out, because I tried, you know. So, those words of encouragement that, you know what, I am also good enough. You know what, I am loved. I am worthy. Even when you don't feel like it, but you're showing up for yourself in that way. You're showing up for yourself. You're not waiting for someone to show up for you and say, you know what, you're good enough for this. You got this. I think, and I'll say, I think we could use people that will be our support system. We could use that sometimes, but right now we are just on the showing up for yourself. And with this, I'm not really saying, don't really depend on people that show up for you. But I'm saying that when you show up for yourself, when you sometimes do things for yourself or try things out for yourself, you're just giving your inner self that thing that, you know what, even if this person can't be there to help me out because they have something going on, I will be able to help myself. I will be able to show up for myself. You understand? So that's basically what I'm saying. I think that today's episode went actually longer, and I am happy about that because it means that we are growing little by little. And I hope that you got something from this thing of showing up for yourself. You understand. I hope that you got something from this because it's important. I think it's important for one's well being. I think it's important to build up one's confidence. I think it's important, you know. Yeah, I sound like perhaps I was rhyming. No, not rhyming. I was making a poem or whatever it is. But yeah, we just saying show up for yourself. You will get some confidence. Show up for yourself. You'll be okay. You'll be good. You're going to disappoint people. There are people who are sometimes a part of our lives, and they love showing up for us. They don't want us to show up for ourselves because they're there for us. So you also just might upset such people. But like I said, one of the things about showing up for ourselves is, boundaries. So this person has to understand that sometimes this person will or might be able to do this thing or things for themselves. And it doesn't mean that they're excluding me, or it doesn't mean that they don't want me to be a part of their life or journey anymore. It's just that they're also trying out things for themselves. I just reminded myself of something like that this past week, and I will just say, I am proud and I am thankful. So I think this is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And do tell them that, there's something going on that side. There's a Life with Promise podcast you should check out. I am your host, Kihilo Promise Mokoena. And until next time, take care of yourself and do make sure that you take care of each other. Bye for now.